Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I can see that the Dharma Hall is quite number of people, and on Zoom there's many as well. So thank you for coming and practicing with me tonight, and thank you, Mountain Stream, give me an opportunity to be friend with the whole community, and that was really fun and cool way to introduce the Dharma with the new ideas. I like it a lot. So I tonight I would like to talk with you all very fundamental one. Um, be mindful and relax and be aware. But before we start to talk about the Dharma, let's practice the Dharma. So let's sit together, and I can guide for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we can have a conversation. Yeah? Okay. How is my sound over there? Is it okay? Yes. Thank you. So relax your body. Check the areas that you tend to hold tension, and giving a gentle attention to those areas, it can help to release and relax. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. You can use the anchor point as a breath or the body sensation or hearing process. We do not need to focus. We don't need to control, and we don't need to force or restrict ourselves. Be aware means seeing what is happening in present moment as it is. Checking in how the body feels right now. There's tingling, there's warm, there's soft, hard, or maybe the mind. Relax, at ease, maybe some thoughts. Is the mind interest in the present moment, the processes, the experiences in the body, in the mind? The objects or experience can be clear or unclear. It can be pleasant or unpleasant. But it not matter for the experience. We taking care of the awareness, not experience. So however you experience right now, just let it be. And if you have some challenge in the body, feel free to move, but don't forget to be aware of the movement. Awareness is the work of the mind. So if you move your body and you notice that there's moving sensation, intention, you still continue to be aware. Meditation is not interrupt at all. So feel free to move if some challenge in the body. When we observe our experiences, it's helpful to see experience as experience, as natural processes, the phenomenon causing an effect. When we have the view of nature, when we relate our experience as processes, it helps us to understand and to be aware easier and more continue. So let the nature unfold. Whatever happens, let it happen. They do their job, we do our job. Our job is to be aware. The objects of awareness is our sixth sense door. They are always there, so we don't need to focus or try to know. All we need to do is recognize which one is happening. Like hearing is happening right now. Sensation happening right now. Thinking is happening right now. And it's been a whole day, so momentum of thinking may be high, so it's okay to let the thinking mind do a job. Every single time you recognize thinking mind is working, you cultivate awareness. If there's a lot of thinking, recognize a lot of thinking. There's little thinking, recognize little thinking. Thinking is not a problem, but if we don't like thinking, it makes the practice harder. But we meditate. We do not meditate to just stop the thinking, rather to understand the thinking. So are we watching the thinking process, or are we involved in the thinking process? If it's a little challenge, we get lost in thoughts, we can step back and anchor into the breath or the body sensation. Or we can alternate between body and thoughts. Is the mind interest in present moment? The processes, the experiences. Be aware means seeing what is happening in the present moment. So gently meet the experience in the body, in the mind. Let all happen. when they happen and don't identify with them. Thank you for sitting with me. Let's take about 10 minutes break, and then we will come back again for the talk. So be back at 6:40. Yeah.
So there's like maybe
Lienchi, this is Jen from the meditation hall. I just
Yes.
wanted to let you know we're all back and we're ready for you when you're ready for us.
Okay, thank you.
Of
Because,
course.
yes, I think I cannot see, so I'm just waiting. Yes, I'm ready too. Okay, uh, so welcome back. And tonight I like to introduce one aspect in meditation, and I think it's very important in meditation. That is the effort, the gentle effort is relaxation. So when we meditate, let me ask how many of you that when you meditate, you are very relaxed? Yes. Oh wow, great. I see the hand raised up. Some of you say yay or nay. Okay. Sorry, the community in the Dharma Hall, I don't have the screen to see you, so I cannot see anything. So I guess Jen can help me with that. Is that okay, Jen?
I think we had about 4 hands go up with
Okay.
relaxed meditation. Yeah,
Okay. Yes, thank you.
of course.
So I guess like some of you have not heard that when we meditate, we do need to have relaxation. So I'm coming from two traditions. One is when I practice about 12 years with Mahasi style, and the teacher that I'm practicing with is Bante Kipapanyo and Sayadaw U Pandita. They both they quite popular in Asia. So I don't know any of you heard about Sayadaw U Pandita before, but he's very strict. If you have heard of a talk from Joseph Goldstein, you can hear that he's well known as a very strict teacher. And then I also practiced in 2003 with Sayadaw U Tejaniya, which is like almost opposite way with Sayadaw U Pandita. Like he more focused on daily life practice than formal practice. So he introduced the relaxation a lot. And for me, it's really helpful when talking about relaxation or gentle effort. So then why do we need to be relaxed when we meditate? And what does it mean when we relax? How does that work? How that affect the mind and the body and awareness itself? So when we relax, it does not mean that we space out. It does not mean that we sleepy. It does not mean that we lost interest in awareness. Because if you come from the tradition of Mahasi and under many teachers that very strict, or with the Gokin Inca style, they do not talk a lot about relaxation, but the way they practice is very much like continuous and keep going. It's have a sense of pushing, keep it up. But when you do that, some of us, like I was lucky when I learned that with Sayadaw Panteki Papanyo first. He's very gentle, so I don't have that attitude of keep pushing. But I know that but I don't have that instruction. But I still have the attitude of keep pushing because when I was kid, I learned kung fu. So in Shaolin, that my teacher has always said like, bite your lips, and grit your teeth. Keep going. So when I get into meditation, I do the same. Whenever I have pain, keep going. Like whenever I have some like sleepiness, I'm keep like really hard to be awake in order to practice. But the more I'm doing that, the more the practice is like going south. So when I met Sayadaw U Tejaniya, and he said like this, it make me really open my mind. He said that when you want to sit through your pain, or when you want to make your mind really focus instead of thinking what the motivation behind it, that when it's really like hit me like wanting mind. I really want that in the way I want it, not the way of nature or the way of the condition of my body and my mind at the moment. So since that happened, and he asked me another question that make it really helpful too. He said that if you want to practice and build continuity throughout your practice, you cannot just sit 1 hour and then you're done the day. You have to work like the moment you wake up until the moment you sleep. And I said, what? And he said, exactly. If you want to practice a whole day and practice in your way, then exactly the what? Like, how can you do that, right? Nobody can do that. That's why you need to relax. You need to relax, and you need to know when you need more effort, when you need less effort. And that really make me understand very well, because for me, practice throughout daily life is very difficult. Back then I was still in the office, so practice in the office is not easy at all. So when Sayadaw told me that, it get me really interested in the practice. So why do we need relaxation, and how do we do that? Relaxation is because concentration in meditation, we need certain level of steadiness, and we need some interest in the meditation as well. And continuity is built up for awareness momentum keep go up. But we cannot force the mind to be continuously. We can't. If we can, we already do that, right? But we cannot. So that's why we just have to try again and again. But when we try again and again, we fail. So we get bored. We're judging our practice. So that's the reason why we need to introduce the effort, the kind of effort that make us interested. So that's why we need to have relaxation. So when relaxation coming in with the body, let me ask you this, like right now, you are sitting, or maybe some of you laying down, because the name on the screen is like, I don't see you, only the name, I don't see your square. So I just make assumption that some of you laying down, or maybe stand up, I don't know. But do you know what posture you are right now? You know, right? You know that you're sitting, yeah? Some of you smiling right now. You know you smile? Yes? Yeah. You know that you knock? Yes? See? You know that, just that much. You already know. And when you know, it means you already aware. So, is that a lot of effort? Do we need to have focus? Do you need to have a lot of effort to know that you are sitting? To know that you are not your head? Right? So it's not require a lot of effort. It's only need the effort of interest. So when we relax the body, then when we relax the body, it's easier for the mind relax in the mind. So, and we all know how to relax the body, because we grow up in the society. Everybody tell us how just relax, take it easy, right? So we know how to relax the body. But what about the mind? How do you relax the mind? Relaxing the mind is mean do not cultivate more greed, aversion, and delusion. Right? So if you see in the mind with the motivation like I did, I bite my lips and I grit my teeth to get it through. So you see there is a trying really hard to make like you get the result that I want. And this is clearly the greed motivation. to get the result that I want. So if you see greed, aversion, and delusion, the kilesa or the three poison in the mind, relax that. Relax the kilesa, not relax the effort that make the practice go on. So my teacher, he said that when we practice meditation, the thing that meditate is the viraya, which is the effort. And the effort alone is not enough. It has to be the right effort. So relaxation is help the body to soften. It's the unnecessary effort. It's help the body to release the controlling, or help the body to reduce the pressure and allow the body to balance between tension and alertness. So same with relaxation, we have attention. When I ask, do you know that you are sitting? Like, you already know that, but the moment I ask, it seems like it makes it more clear. How about I'm asking that, do you know that you are seeing? Like right now? Yes? Yeah. So when did you know that you are seeing? Before I ask, you seeing? Or when I ask? Yes, that's right. When I ask, you know that you are seeing. Before that, you only pay attention, right? But when I ask that, you immediately, it's just notice that, oh, I am seeing, or I am looking right now. So because of that, we notice when we have relaxed, and the only effort is just the effort of reminder ourselves. And remember that the sati and the remembering, the society has already taught us this since we was kid, right? We can remember how to pick up our children at what time, when to take the pill, when to go to sleep. So remembering is difficult, but being aware is not difficult. So the effort we need is the effort that make the mind to remember. And this skill that we already have, because we grow up in the society that timing is like money, right? Whenever you talk about time, they talk about how much. So think about when to do this or that. We already know, like we can put a note, we can put a phone, we can have alarm. So remember to be aware. I remember when I was just started, I put the tape everywhere in my room. So anywhere when I turn, I see like, are you aware? So that immediately I'm aware. So or I'm wearing the bracelet. Is have a bell. So whenever I move my hand, it's just like remind me, oh, be aware. So remind ourselves to be aware is that the effort we need. And this effort doesn't take a lot of controlling. So another thing that we want to talk about is attention. When we have attention, we meditate, we turn our attention from seeing the world, like I'm looking at you all right now through my screen, but like, do I aware of what's going on in my mind? Yes, I do. I'm keep like, okay, seeing how you express yourself through the little square, or looking at the clock, like what time is it? So I do pay attention to my mind. So, and I do pay attention to my voice, because I know that I don't speak English that well and I have accent, so I need to speak loud and clear and remind myself, slow down, slow down, slow down, so you can hear better. So I be aware. I'm not totally pay attention to the outside object. So the attention is have to be split 50-50. Or 60-40, or 30-70. So when you split your attention like that, if you hold your attention so tight, you cannot do that. Just like the way when we were just started with meditation. everybody told us like, just sit down, cross your leg, and close your eyes. And that's how we do it. And then because it's new, right? It's new, so we do it wholeheartedly. We pay attention to the breath. And that when we remember meditation is like this. You pay attention to the breath. And the next time you do, you think, oh, breath is easy, just sit down. And then that when you realize you get caught in the story. So you try really hard to hold on the breath. That's why the more you try, the more it's harder. But if you just tell yourself, like right now, you're sitting, can you know the sensation of your bottom and still know that you're hearing? Yeah? So see, you know two things. And do you need to focus or at all? Not at all. So because you are very relaxed, you don't need to focus. So same thing with that. We need our attention soft and turn in how much percentage throughout the day. If we work, we need to have more attention to the work. If we talk, we need more attention to keep on conversation. But if we just like washing dishes or wiping the table, then I think it's not, we don't need that much attention on that. So we can have like 30% on wiping the table or washing dishes, and then 70% on our own body and mind, right? So when you do that, you can see the relaxation is not only the body and the mind, but also the relaxation is help your mind and your body balance out the attention, that so you can continue to practice. And if you can keep up with awareness throughout the day, even just a little, just awareness alone, not seeing things like super clear or details, just like knowing that I'm still aware. What I'm aware of, I don't know, but I'm aware. I be in present moment. The moment you sit down, you will see the big difference, because your mind is just like having momentum all the day long, and then it just click in, and then you will like land on the object very easy. And then because you land on the object easily, so you can investigate and you give condition for wisdom to arise. But when you not practice throughout the day, and you can see that the moment you sit down, for those who've been talking or working all day, you can see that your mind is constantly running the story, right? Or for those who have something that you need to do after this talk, you will think about what I'm going to do. So your mind is planning or talking all the time. So relaxation is not only help us to relax the body, make the experience is more gentle, and also make the interest easier to go on, and also make the attention split out easier too. So let's say that we practice in formal practice. In formal practice, we sit down and we have pain in the body. Anybody have pain today? For those who sitting at home, probably not. But for those who sit in the hall, probably you have some pain. Or maybe at home you have some pain and you laying down. So if you have pain in the body, and you keep saying like, okay, I'm have pain right now, let's just try to be with the breath. Would that be difficult? Or would that be easier if you say, okay, I'm have pain right now, let me take a deep breath and let it go. So I'm okay with the pain. What else do I know? Would that be easier? Beside the pain, I can see that my mind complains about the pain, So that's another object, right? I can see that my mind wanting to get rid of the pain. Right. So you see, with relaxation, is help the body go into the it's help awareness go into the experience easier. But this is even daily life practice. It's even more interesting. Let's say you are talking with somebody at work or at home, and you know that person when you talk. Immediately you already have some ideas about that person. So, and if that person says something that you dislike, immediately your mind will jump in and want to interrupt or want to try to prove your point, right? So if you relax the body, you can recognize your mind at work, not only the body but also the mind. You can see the body is start to get tense up, and then your mind start to have the urge of jump in, interrupt, and talking, right? So because you see that, you will be more careful for what you want to say, and you can remind yourself, it's okay, relax, and anger is here, aversion is here, so I need to be more careful. So relaxation is not only helping the body easier with the difficult experience, but also help the awareness to recognize the relationship between body and mind. So this relationship is the relationship that can see is dislike or liking. And there's 4 types of basic relationship that we have when we awareness observe the object. One is wanting. Everybody know that you have wanting in your practice, yeah? Eating, you want, right? You sit and you see that the mind thinking a lot, you dislike, you don't want. So wanting and this one don't want something, pull and push, like and dislike, that the relationship too. The second one is the don't know or confusion or doubt, like you have the practice and you don't know what it does, and then how do I deal with this one, what I supposed to do with this. I know this, I remember when I was just started, and that's when a yogi asked Sayadaw, I know my breath, I know the hearing, I know the thinking, so what else do I need to do? And Sayadaw said, like, you keep knowing, there's nothing else to do. Just keep knowing, that's what you do. But when we just started, we always looking for something new, something excited, right? So that's the third relationship. And the last one is balance, which is ease, patience, curiosity, compassion, and willingness. So this balanced relationship is the relationship only happen when you relax the body and you relax the mind. When the mind doesn't have greed, aversion, and delusion, then you will have this relationship. So the things that I want, and the next thing that I want to talk tonight, and I think is important to talk, is awareness. In awareness, we have 2 different types. One is directed, and the other one is receiving it. So directed awareness is the awareness that you pick one object or multiple objects, so you can notice that. I give you example. You sit down and you follow your breath. Yeah? So when you follow your breath, you direct your attention to the breath. So when you do that, you have directed attention. Or you say head, shoulder, feet. The moment I say, you can see that your attention go to that location, right? So that also directed attention. But when we practice in daily life, it's very difficult when we just keep seeing and moving our attention to location. So what if we have the attention that not go to the object, but let the object come to us? The experience, we receive in it. So the receiving experience, we call that receptive awareness. So let's try that now. Take a deep breath. Relax your body. What do you know right now? You know something immediately, right? You can know, oh, I know the body is relaxed. Oh, I know the breath. Or you can know, I know nothing, but that nothing is the mental state, or the thinking mind say nothing, right? So you don't go to the object or experience, but receive the experience yourself. So when you receive the experience like that, you can let your attention just stay still, and then the object, whatever obvious, will come first. Like the sound. I'm keep talking, but you keep receiving the sound, right? It's not stopping your attention about the sound of the bell. So if you just receive your attention like that, little by little, you can receive all 6 sense door at once. So be relaxed, step back, and receive your attention. It's helpful for practice in daily life. So I just want to offer a little bit of the talk today because I don't know the community well enough. So I don't want to bring in all the big things and make everybody bore. I just want to share something that helpful in daily life practice that make your practice can be applied throughout the day, and also carry on and help with the continuity a little bit. So if you have any question or any comment, I'm happy to receive it.
Lienchi, this is Jennifer from the Meditation Hall. And
Yes.
Thank you so much for this beautiful talk. Just a reminder, if anybody in the hall wants to say anything, share a thought or a comment, please raise your hand and I'll pass the mic. And that way the folks on Zoom can hear what we're speaking about in this room. And if any friends on Zoom have a question or a comment, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Awesome.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Of course. Okay, we have a question or comment from the hall. Yeah, can you start with your name?
Thank you so much for the wonderful talk. My name is Michael, and it's really a thought and a question. Really was intrigued as you were describing awareness. And I've been meditating over the years for a long time. And I noticed, I appreciate that just the idea of awareness during the day, 24 hours, whenever I'm not just sitting, but doing things. And in the process of doing, having an awareness or a sense of the object or the thing that I'm doing, my purpose, and at the same time holding that 30% or 20% in the back of my mind and noticing that I have that awareness. And what struck me as you were describing this is that the awareness seems to be, tell me, I'm curious, it seems to be both a receptive kind of awareness that the object of the thought is coming to me, and also, I forget the word you use for the other, outgoing awareness, the directed awareness. And is that correct? Am I thinking in line with what you're saying?
Yes, that's right. Thank you for your question and a good summary for directed awareness and receptive awareness. Yes, sometimes we can observe, we just receive whatever obvious object, like the sixth sense door, not always working, right? So sometimes you know the obvious, and sometimes you know both of them at the same time, and like hearing and breathing at the same time. So, or thinking and scratching your head at the same time. So with that, you can have just a little bit of like, you know that this is what you do, this is the experience, so you don't need to know very detailed. Just like you know that you are sitting, you don't need to know super detail, right? So that's just awareness of receiving. And directed awareness is a little bit more attention, more effort. So that's why it's helpful if we have like a mind that constantly run into story, overwhelming with like story and worrying. So relax and knowing the object gently is very helpful. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, another question from the hall.
Hello, I'm Katie. I think I understand wanting and not wanting very well, but I would like you to speak a little bit more on delusion. I fear I might live in that more than I would like.
That's really good question. Thank you. I think, yeah, I love this question a lot because when we know one thing and not one thing, the feeling is pulling and pushing, right? The urge of pulling and pushing. If anything we want, we just like have it right now. Like I'm fall asleep, awake right now, right? Or you don't like sleepiness, like so you can like awake right now, do not fall asleep, or stop thinking right now. But the delusion, not many people talking about this, so this is my signature secret. Just kidding. So the delusion is the one that whenever you feel anything you about to say, your opinion, 100% sure. Like if you want to say, I'm right, you wrong, or like listen to me, or you did not hear me. That when you feel yourself very powerful, right? Very clear. This is me. This is my idea, my opinion. That very strong. That's the delusion. And then the other side of it is confusion or doubt. Whenever you like, I don't know why I'm meditate, why I'm keep meditating. Like I don't get anything in there, just the breath. How much I need to know more about the breath. Or you go to the retreat and you say, what am I doing here? I'm wasting my time, right? So you keep running like back and forth. Should I do this? Should I do that? So you cannot make the decision like a dog, ball and bone. Which one? So back and forth, back and forth. So doubt, confusion, then the other side of the coin. So very sure or very unsure.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So remember, next time when you fight with anybody and you feel very sure that you need to talk, be careful, okay?
This is Jen. I would just like to make a comment. Lienchi, it's really lovely. You have such a buoyant energy about, I feel like these are somewhat abstract concepts for my brain, but I really appreciate that energy and the sort of excitement that you bring to this. It's really very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the last question. I thought that I was reading, but I was mute. So here's the question from Alex. Could you please say more about using reminder throughout the days for daily life practice? I recently tried to put color sticker around the house to remind me to be mindful, but it feels often like throwing a small stick into the Rag River. Yes, the mind get used to it because like I did that too, and then after a while you forget, and then you walk by and you say somebody told me just rotate it, and it doesn't work. I don't think so. I think there's a couple of things that throughout the day that helpful, very much helpful. That one, that if you want to practice, pick up a object. I mean the project. So you have a reminder like the phone. There's many apps that is have ring the bell. Every single time you hear the bell ring, or using this phone, I'm still using the chip phone that beep beep every hour. So when you hear the beep beep, or just like me, I have this. This is from very beginning of my practice. I have this. Can you hear that? Yeah. So I put it on my hand, and whenever I move my hand, I hear the bell. It means that I am in present moment. I don't hear the bell. I lost in thought. So my nephew and niece, they said like, whenever you walk by, I thought the cat walking by. So, but it's fun. And then a second time that I did, probably Alex, you don't use hair clip, but for women, we use hair clip. I'm clipped it in my finger. So I remember when I was when I get through my divorce, my mind constantly thinking, and I'm using tape. I tape two fingers together, so it's uncomfortable. So whenever I move, I try to move fast, and then I remember, okay, be aware. And then I write on my hand every day, like tattoo, like, are you aware? On this side, like be in present moment. Like I wrote that on my feet too. So everybody said that, oh, this is yogi tattoo. But it's really helpful because whenever I see that, and then because I wrote it, the next day it's gone. And then I wrote that again, the next day it's reminding me. So the thing is it's not about being remember, but about appreciate to remember. That's the key. Whenever you appreciate it, you feel fun, and then it's encourage you to remember again. But if you take that as a reminder alone, you don't feel like you did improve every day. So I think the idea is many ways to do that, but one of those things that I did when I was young, when I just started the practice, or when I went through my divorce. So yeah, just want to share that with you. So do the yogi tattoo every morning. Okay. All right. So that's hopefully is helpful to you, and I guess this is the last question. Is there any more question in the hall, Jennifer?
I think we are complete.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So let's sit for 1 minute. That calm our mind and body down. You can put your hand in your chest or put your hand together. And remember that this whole hour we have spent time together. We did a great practice. We keep sila, we listen to Dharma, we discuss Dharma. This all good deed is create the condition for the practice to continue. And may this good deed be a condition to share to all being everywhere. Unconditional, no discriminate, equal to all. And may this good deed be conditioned to help all being free from suffering, be at ease and happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to unmute and say